Hello everyone. You're about to hear a brief retelling of the movie Cracked. Enjoy. England, 1934. Miss G and one of his pupils, Dai Redfield, are smoking a cigarette, discussing a book they have recently read. Miss G is a teacher at St. Matilda's school. Dai looks longingly at a woman passing by, but to the priest she repents of having dirty thoughts about the gardener's son. In fact, she has a lot of dirty thoughts. In the cafeteria, Dai harasses one of the students because she toasted herb bread wrong somehow. The principal informs her that a new student from Spain has arrived at the school today and asks that she be well received, not the usual newcomers, because she is an aristocrat and she is used to the best. This is of course mostly addressed to Dai. During the trampoline class, the girls talk about the new girl, and Miss G chides one of them for hanging from the ropes like a sack of potatoes. Alas, in an attempted somersault, the chubby girl lands on her heel. The double portion of porridge and toast for breakfast had taken its toll. According to the teacher, porridge is not the main thing in life, but desire and nothing is impossible, you just need to wish. Dai takes out the words of Miss G, devouring her with her eyes. A young Spanish girl, Fiamma, arrived on the island. She is taken to a room where she will live with 6 other girls. They immediately began to discuss her, and Dai Redfield went on the attack, pointing out that she was her captain and that the new girl was far from being a queen and would have to follow the rules just like everyone else. For example, you can't keep more than 5 personal items on your nightstand. Fiamma is not comfortable in her new place. The littlest girl dreamed that her mom came to visit her to take her home. Miss G is always doing diving drills. Fiamma was late and unlike the others she didn't put on the rubber cap. Dai entered the water perfectly and received praise from her favorite teacher. The woman energizes the others to be just as good. Next up, porridge-loving Fuzzy. Unfortunately, she's still a sack of potatoes. Fiamma is not ready to follow the others, it's too cold. In Spain it's winter weather like this, but it's not Spain. So the girl ran up to the tower and she managed to perform the jump better than everyone else, including Dai. It seems the bar has been raised to a new height, says Teacher Redfield. Fiamma has a health problem, asthma, which is why he has to constantly clear his airways with an inhaler, a perfect excuse to make fun of the new girl. Skeen turned around and went to school on her own. Some time passed. Miss G brought a big package to the cafeteria that was sent to the firm. Everyone wondered what was inside. The girls unpacked the package in a second and grabbed the expensive cookies that were inside. They asked the Spaniard to tell a romantic tale, which they had heard from her before, but this time she accompanied the story with special effects, which delighted the students and attracted Miss G's attention. She had some delicious cookies for herself and also brought some postcards sent by Fiamma. To Dai's delight, the teacher peeped into their room at night and invited the girls to go for a moonlight swim. Not even Fiamma went with them. On the dock, Miss G bared her breasts, jumped into the water and encouraged everyone to do the same. All the girls are now floundering in the water topless. Fiamma says she has already traveled to India, Ethiopia, Somalia, and Paris. Miss G also likes to travel. She says that the Spaniard is not like all the other girls. She is already living while the others are just waiting for their life to begin. Miss G herself will continue to travel when the girls graduate, but apparently the woman has never really been anywhere unlike Fiamma. She's been at this school for years and hasn't gone anywhere since she was a student. One of the bouquet classes. Lily has done something that is clearly missing in her life. Dai is jealous of the new girl because she's an aristocrat and pays the most attention. She's taunting Fiamma like her father the prince called. Talking to Lily and asking her out on dates. Miss G walked into the classroom to take her favorites out swimming again. Fiamma refused, though it was her society that interested the woman above all else. But then the Spaniard did come to watch the girls having fun in the woods. She was noticed by Miss G and wondered. In her office, the fidgety teacher told her to put away their textbooks and listen to music. Fiamma saw her uneaten cookies and stolen cards among her things. Miss G was embarrassed and immediately decided to tell how she was canoeing with her boyfriend on an African river and how the poor guy was grabbed by a crocodile and pulled out of the boat. Everyone listened to her with bulging eyes, except Fiamma, who only smiled at the story. She finished it instead of the teacher. Dai stood up for his favorite teacher, saying she was a brave woman and had experienced it all personally. Only to be disappointed in her idol, Mary King's English writer. Her book became a bestseller. Ms. G is no longer having fun, the young student she is both attracted to and disturbed by. After jumping, Fiamma breathes heavily. Even a bag of medicine does not help her, but Miss G makes her jump again. Allegedly, she does not do it passionately enough. Expectedly, the Spaniard gets worse in the water. The teacher says all sorts of nonsense about fortitude and character and pulls the girl to the pier with a paddle. Fiamma gasped and ran to the locker room, and only there she came to her senses. But Miss G doesn't leave her alone. They are so alike, they can achieve so much together. Why don't they become close friends? The other girls are unhappy that the teacher has become too picky. All because of the new girl who set the so-called standard. The girls draw in the forest sitting on the ruins, while the obsessed teacher runs around looking for Fiamma everywhere. Dai decides to also take part in the search, and soon they both find the Spaniard lying in a boat near the shore. "Why are you following me?" she asks Miss G. "My father will come and get me soon." Except all the girls thought they were here for one semester, but they're here forever. It's not forever. These words brought the teacher to tears. She went into town to pick up some goodies at the grocery store. The woman is acting strange, twitchy and nervous. It's so hard for her to get off the boarding school grounds, so she ran straight back. The royal set of buns and cookies she brought on a tray just for her beloved Fiamma. The others look at her with envy and Dai with hatred. The girl wanted to share, but Fuzzy immediately got a slap on her outstretched hand. When Ms. G left, no one wanted to take the treat anymore. Dai walks around the room with a bag in which each girl throws a personal item. The gang found Fiamma in the stable, and she was dragged to the gate. "You'll get out of here," Dai declares. "There's food and clothes in the sack, and the ferry will arrive in an hour." The girl did not resist and ran away. A few stones flew after her. In the evening, the sister mistress immediately discovered the absence of one of the girls, and a search in the forest was immediately organized. This has never happened at the school before. Meanwhile, the girl tries to call her father, but he does not pick up the phone. Ms. G merges, including on his recent favorite. Already at night, Fiamma was found on the side of the road as she tried to catch a hitchhiker. The unfortunate girl was lying on the bed. Some were even glad that everything was all right. Everything seems to be back to normal. The students continue to train day after day, and the teacher with a clever face advises them to free themselves from the shackles and just float in the air. Fiamma is tired of practicing when the competition is about to start. Miss G suggested that the girls split into two teams, but Fiamma had in mind a real competition with jumpers from another school. At this point, Miss G breaks down, because there never was and never will be any competition. What they spent so much time on is pointless. In the evening, Dai lashes out at Fiamma and accuses her of making the teacher miserable and ruining the team. To make friends with Dai, Fiamma has to give her a perfume and promises to behave more gently to Miss G so that she will treat Dai better. The girls are scrambling and wondering what to do. Maybe have some kind of nighttime party. What would Fiamma say? The Spaniard suggested having a St. Agnes feast where they would guess their soulmate. Great, they'll all bring food and flowers for the wreaths. Ms. G doesn't like the girls being friends. At midnight, the conspirators started dressing up. Fiamma has even gotten along with Dai, and she's helping her with her makeup. The girls manage to get alcohol, and even little Rousey has a go at the bottles that are passed around. Fiamma tells how she kissed a boy, and Lily prepares her friends that one day they will find someone for whom they will take off their knickers. Miss G overhears and won't let her interrupt another teacher's party. The girls get drunk and dance. Miss Fiamma is more drunk than the others and falls to the floor, unable to get up. At that moment, Miss G enters the room and orders the other girls to clean up and takes the Spaniard with her. Dai is jealous again. Fiamma lies unconscious. Miss G sits next to her in her nightgown and says she is ready to do anything for her favorite student. They will be best friends and will see the world together. They will have adventures she has read about in books. The woman undressed Fiamma and started kissing her. This was seen by Dai, who opened the door to the office of the adored teacher. Fiamma didn't show up for choir singing the next day. She was running away from the maniacal teacher who did whatever she wanted at night. Dai calls the girl a slut and tells her that she seduced Miss G. Fiamma herself tells the teacher that she hates her. Dai goes to suck up to her, and the liar starts telling her again that she plans to leave, to travel, and she also says that Fiamma is going to spread them dirty rumors and destroy her reputation. The woman cried and Dai decided she had to act. Miss G's tears dried immediately. The girls found Fiamma by the creek. Dai grabs her by the hair and drags her to a clearing in the forest. She demands that she admit what happened last night and takes away her inhaler. Fiamma replies that they should all tell that the teacher molested her. A struggle ensues. The Spaniard takes away her baggie and smacks Dai in the face. The poor girl gasped and ran deep into the woods, the other 6 girls chasing her, all of them furious, and those who had already called Fiamma their friend. The Spaniard is surrounded, thrown to the ground, and starts to beat her with fists all over her body. Only Fuzzy begs her friends to stop. Fiamma begs for mercy. She gasps. Soon her breathing has turned into a whoosh. The girl grabs the ground and stares at one point. A frightened Dai commands the girls to find help and searches for the inhaler herself. She was overjoyed when she found it. At that moment, Miss G comes over and takes the inhaler from her and orders the girls to go get help as well. She smiles and strokes the gasping girl and doesn't let her save herself. "You're not ready for this world," the mad woman whispers in the student's ear. "Go back to sleep." As Fiamma falls silent and her head falls back, Miss G puts the inhaler into the breathless girl's hand. This scene is witnessed by the just returned Dai. Miss G glares at her with an icy stare. All the girls cry in their room. Some admit their guilt, and then Dai tells the truth about what Miss G did. All 6 of them come to see the mad teacher. The woman is freaking out. According to her, they are a great team without Fiamma, but the girls want nothing more to do with her. Dai told about what happened to the principal, but she suggested the girl not to spread rumors defaming the school, saying the ways of God are inscrutable. This case is closed, and Miss G will just take a sabbatical. The woman moved into an apartment in some dreary, smoky factory town. The girls get a letter saying she's going on a trip to see elephants and crocodiles. But the letter was not written by the crazy teacher, but by their friend Dai, who left the school with a few memorabilia about Fiamma.